Ken, he's great. He just like, I could take him back in and x-ray bones and stuff, but I don't think it's a bone.
Call meeting to order. For those in care to, please rise for an opening prayer. Salute our flag. Those in care to, please bow your heads with me. Dear Father, thank you for today. Thank you for the time we get to spend together. Thank you for this city, this community, people that are in it. Please guide us, direct us, go throughout this week. So we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just have a few announcements. One, tomorrow is Gail Nagel's birthday. Our Planning and Economic Development Director. You want to give her a call. She's not feeling too good today, but you might want to give her a call tomorrow. Harass her a little bit. She's 29 again, according to her. And also, using the library resources to grow your business, Tuesday, March 25th, 6 to 8, Republic Branch Library. An event is free and open to the public, and if I'm not mistaken, Gail is speaking of, is actually having a short presentation called Navigating Through the System, and to explain how Planning and Development Department can be of assistance when starting a new business. That's an excellent resource. Also, librarian Tammy Flippen will also have some information there that can benefit business owners. So that is March 25th, 6 to 8, the Branch Library here in Republic. Also, Transportation Input Meeting with MoDOT is scheduled for Tuesday, March 18th, 4 to 6 at the Republic High School. We do encourage everybody to attend this particular event. There will be some information there regarding funds and regarding proposed transportation plans. That's Tuesday, March 18th, 4 to 6 at the Republic High School. We'd like to suggest that we all try to make that. Republic does have some transportation needs in the upcoming years, and for those dollars for MoDOT, we still have to fight for our dollars like all the other communities. So please take a look at that. And also, last but not least, this is not only to our officials that are up for election, but also officials that are up for election for the school board. Please watch where you put your signs. We will be pulling signs. If they're in the right of way, we'll pick them up, no matter who they are. So I just want to let everybody know that. If we do pick your sign up, it will be over at the city or over at the planning department. Seth will have it in the back. You'll get it. Especially at intersections, and they will be picked up, especially at intersections where there is possibly hindrance to view, or it is a right-of-way area where it is nobody's property. So be very, very careful where you place your signs, and that is for everybody. As at City Republic, when it comes to election signs, we are equal opportunity offenders. We'll pick them all up. So I just want to let everybody know that. Wasn't too bad, was it, Charlie?
No.
Okay, just checking. Jason, is that okay?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I just need to pick up my phone.
Mr. Mr. Wilson, you okay with that? Yeah. And we do have an announcement about every year, so again next year as well. So, on to participation, anyone wishing to speak to anything not on the agenda, please step forward, state your name, sign in, and give us your best 3 minutes. Seeing none, this is participation closed. Need a motion on the consent agenda to approve?
Motion. Second.
And a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? One abstention. Motion carries 6-0-1. On the financial report, welcome, Laura. Please give us an overview.
Okay, well, first of all, I can't believe how heavy this thing is. This is proof that we really received something, our certificate for financial reporting. So this is something we can put on the wall, and this was the start. It will hold 9 more years of awards. So anyway, so we need to display that prominently somewhere.
Very nice.
And it's real marble, maybe we could just sell it instead.
Do not give it to Dwayne.
Yeah.
It'll be on eBay tomorrow, won't it, Chief?
Royal flag. The Royal flag.
Yes, you can buy those on eBay.
Yeah.
You can buy them on eBay.
See, that's where it came from.
Yeah.
You never know.
Very nice.
Oh.
It's a lot of work, we joke about it, but it was a lot of work to get that done, I think. So, anyway, continue.
The financial report, of course, I just want to mention again, it was February, you're still seeing revenues, and expenses that will go back towards 2013. So even though it looks really promising and everything right now, I will start making the journal entries, for March, just this month. And, so we'll start seeing some differences in the financials for March. But I do want to point out on the unrestricted cash balances that where we stand at the end of February actually represents 18% over where we were a year ago. And so nothing else, we do have a good growth in cash, in our cash balances.
Questions, comments, discussion for Sky Rice? Anything at all? Thank you. Need a motion to approve financial report? Motion?
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Report to staff, Mr. Christie, anything?
No.
Mr. Derrickson? And Mr. Cummings not here, so future community events, March 3rd, as registration begins for Summer League Recreation Day Camp, which is early registration for ages 6 to 12 at the Republic Community Center. March 12th through the 26th, senior Wii bowling, Wednesdays 9 to 12, and 11 to 12, and 1 to 2, and 2. That's for adults, at the community center as well. March 17th to 14th is Tyler Open Gym, 10 a.m. That's for toddlers to 5 years old, and that's also the Public Activities Building. March 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and the 31st is the Schools Out program, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. for ages 6 to 12. March 14th, last day to register for summer adult softball, that'll be played at Bourbon White. And March 17th, April 4th, the registration for youth boys baseball, ages 5 to 12. March 17th to April 4th, registration for youth girls softball, ages 5 to 14. Also, all these registrations are at the Public Community Center. March 17th through April 4th is the registration for toddler top ball, which is co-ed, ages 3 to 4. And March 18th to May 8th is the Arthritis Foundation Exercise Program, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1:30 p.m. It's a free event for Public Community Center. March 21st and April 11th, Hot Academy, 10:30 a.m. for 2 to 5-year-olds. Pre-registration is required. March 27th to May 1st, Tyler Tunneling, 5:30 or 6:30 p.m. for 2 to 5. Pre-registration is required for Public Community Center. And March 27th is Senior Movie Day at 3 p.m. It's a free event. They'll have free popcorn and coffee provided. And the movie is Secondhand Line. So, just want to update everybody on that. Board commissions and committee schedule, Board of Adjustment, April 3rd, Capital Improvements, March 26th, City Council, March 24th, and City Council, April 14th, Planning and Zoning, March 17th. On the next item, which is resolution 13-R-58, that item has been requested to be tabled again, so I need a motion to table to the April 14th meeting, yes.
Not that motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second to table resolution number 13-R-58 to the April 14th meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Need a motion on the second reading of bill number 14-06. Motion. Second. Motion is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing and directing the city administrator to enter into an arson task force operational response mutual aid agreement with the Greene County Sheriff.
Need a motion to have final passage of bill number 14-06.
Second.
Welcome, Chief. Give us the overview, sir.
As stated, it's a first reading. This is an agreement with the Greene County Sheriff's Office. It allows the City of Republic, the police and the fire departments to enter into a arson task force. We're lucky enough not to have a lot of incendiary fires, meaning those fires that are intentionally set. However, sometimes when you have big events, it exhausts our resources rather quickly. I'm talking about a fatality fire or a fire in one of the apartment buildings. It puts a strain both on the fire department and the police department to get the investigation done. That's where we see the task force being used. Likewise, we may be called upon to assist other fire departments in the county with basically manual labor at a large fire event to help dig out that particular scene. Any questions?
Questions, comments, discussion, Steve Conlon. Mr. Wilson.
What part does the Greene County Sheriff have in it?
Somebody had to be the host agency of the task force, and because they're the ultimate law enforcement authority in the county, it was decided that they would do this. We modeled this task force after the one in Texas, but the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms recommended that they give us a mutual aid agreement that they use down there. And we also used one out of Kansas City and St. Louis. We took some pieces out of that agreement as well. They have a certified fire investigator on staff that if you cannot get anybody from the Missouri State Fire Marshal's office to help you, that particular work will come out. As it is, right now today, if we were to call for somebody from the State Fire Marshal's office to come and assist us, we would be looking at a 2-hour wait for them to get here. So having another set of hands in Greene County, Jim Stanley is the sergeant in charge of this. He's usually out here 30 to 45 minutes. But somebody had to be the host agency.
With you being a former fire marshal, will they use your talents, you know?
Depends on the size of the event, but yeah, I really don't, yes, I think they would. I don't know why they would. To get into the task force, to have people show up on the scene, we will only send certified investigators to that fire scene that are actually in what I would call a hot zone doing the work. And that's the way we do things here in town. Naturally, there's a lot of other stuff that's going on. So your people that aren't certified fire investigators through the state of Missouri are kind of outside that hot zone doing other tasks.
I'm reading here that the Greene County Sheriff's Department is responsible for determining the agencies that will respond, and that's where you go to dispatch this force, the task force. Do we have to respond to that, or is there any kind of?
Only if we have available staff to help them. We're not, if they were to call Friday and say, you know, we have a major fire in Logan Rogersville, can you send somebody else? If we don't have available staffing, no, we're not obligated to send somebody. Nor are we obligated to call them either. It's only when we think we're going to do it.
That there's no other way for dispatching this task force other than through the Greene County Sheriff's Department?
Now that we have consolidated with 911, that is where everybody goes to be dispatched from. So
Okay.
if I need Sergeant Stanley to come out here, I have to pretty much go through the dispatch center to get them to send him out here.
Okay.
Mr. Hart.
And on the same line as Amanda had, if you're at a call and something happens, you have who makes the call when you come back to your municipality?
We do.
So that's.
We come first.
Okay.
They know that. That's pretty much true with any utility or operating agreement we have. If we have another event happen in town, we're out.
Okay, thank you.
Additional questions, comments, discussion? Leonard. Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilmember Poole? Aye. Councilmember Mendez?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Councilmember Bashir? Councilmember Hutchinson?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson?
Aye.
Councilmember Blankenbeard.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much, Chief. On other business, resolution number 14-R-11, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing Republic Police Department to apply for 2 reimbursable traffic safety grants through the 2014-2015 Missouri Highway Safety Program. I'd like to have a motion.
Second.
Second. Welcome, Chief. Give us the overview, sir.
Well, this is one of those that, thankfully, we've been very fortunate for the past several years. Many of you have enjoyed the fruits of it because these are the ones where we apply for these highway safety grants that are reimbursable through the state. And this is what helps us fund our DUI safety checkpoints, as well as other aggressive driving, seatbelt enforcement, DUI enforcement. And we're applying to these 2 grants for a total of $24,000. I have no idea how successful we'll be on all of it, but I have faith that we'll get some of it because we've been running very successfully in the past. So today I authorized the setting up of our first DUI checkpoint in May, so I expect to see some of you out there today.
As guests.
As spectators for us.
What you gonna be at?
We'll be on highway safety.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just make, if you don't mind, just make sure that the attorney doesn't have to clarify the position, so. Questions, comments, discussion, Chief Lowe? Hands on. These are excellent programs, Chief, we appreciate you applying for them. And yes, those checkpoints are very entertaining at times, so just do not run down the highway like.
I'm not chasing anybody.
No, that's good. No more pull muscles for the chief. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much, Chief. On to the next item, resolution number 14-R-12, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the police department to enter into an agreement for Lexapol LLC. Would like to have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Chief, see overview, sir.
Well, thankfully, we entered into an agreement with a new insurance provider this year, NPR, and one of the benefits they provide to the communities that they serve as a method of risk reduction is offering a lot of training and education, but also, last year, Lexapol programs, which are set up as a risk reduction, as a model policies, like, kind of like accreditation, that they entered the state of Missouri last year, and they will provide basically an entire model policy manual at no cost, because NPR will pay for that for us, as well as a lot of in-service roll call training and other training bulletins. And so this agreement will get us going down that path. If my understanding from some agencies around that have paid for it, just the cost of the policy manual alone is about $7,000 with the updates that come with it at no charge to us. And then the training bulletins, other training would have been about $4,000 annually. So this is a great benefit to the city, and we're really looking forward to taking advantage of it.
Questions, comments, discussion, Chief Lowe?
This is different, you said policies, like your policies and procedures?
They basically formulate following basically accreditation guidelines. They're not CALIA, even though CALIA is a private corporation just like Lexapol is, but they don't have accreditation standards that you have to go through all those hoops to be able to achieve. And then you take their model policies and adopt them to fit your unique size organization and community's needs.
If you have a policy that's currently in conflict, is that possible that theirs would be in conflict with one that you currently have?
Most of our policies already follow CALIA guidelines, so they should be very close.
We will, over the course of the next
It'll take
6
a year and a half.
to 12 months, we're going to go and look and compare our policies with the Lexapol, and if there's any differences between those, then we can, either just accept the one or modify either or the other. But yeah, we are going to not just totally abandon all of our policies and procedures and adopt these sight unseen. They'll be reviewed and compared and make sure that we get all the correct policies.
So is this something that you can modify?
Absolutely.
So like, if you do find a conflict, you don't have to discard the whole policy?
No, therefore, it's a model policy,
Okay.
but because it's kind of a one-size-fits-all, I mean, an agency like size of the Republic as opposed to the Greene County Sheriff's Department of Springfield, they're not gonna be the same. So you take the important features of their policy and try and mold your policy to have the successful risk reduction action. Plus, one of the things they do for, like I said, just coming in the state of Missouri, they make sure that we're in compliance with all Missouri state statutes that are applicable to us. And they do that for us, so that we don't have to become subject matter experts to keep bothering Ron.
Additional questions, comments, discussion, Chief? It's good questions. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Chief. On the next item, resolution number 14-R-13, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, awarding bids for supply of bulk materials for 2014 fiscal year. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Welcome, Mr. Bryant. Please give us an overview, sir.
Mayor,
Hopefully
one of our spring rituals is soliciting bids for the year on our construction materials from this year. We're asking for our bid awards. Individually, most of these products would not require a sealed bid. However, we've been very successful in lumping together all of our quarry products, asphalt products, picked up the plant, and our concrete products, and getting good pricing. Results this year, about the same as usual. We saw anywhere from 3 to 5% increase in pricing. The majority of these are delivered to the city, and the delivery fees are required to be included in that unit bid price. So you can see by our results here that typically the quarries and plants that are located to Republic, or closer to Republic, can provide a better cost. Recommending this year splitting up the quarry bids between Bailey Quarries, Cleverstone, Springfield Underground, Blevins Asphalt for hot asphalt mix picked up at the plant, and Cade Concrete for all of our concrete products. Concrete is probably going to be our largest expense, primarily due to our Elm Street sidewalk project that we began this week.
Questions, comments, discussion, Mr. Bryant? Mr. Wilson?
Did Conoco place a bid this year? They did. We received their bid a day after the opening. We returned it unopened, so I can't tell you what kind of pricing they offered. I just curious.
Additional questions, comments, discussion, Mr. Harder? You're getting ready to say something. You took a deep breath. Maybe you're just going for air. I'm not quite sure. Additional questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Brown? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Brown. On the next item, resolution 14-R-14, resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, awarding the bid for a portable scalping screen and authorizing the purchase thereof. Would like to have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Mr. Brown, give us the overview, sir.
The scalping screen is kind of a fancy name for a sifter. What we're looking to purchase is a manufactured sifter. What I'm passing around here is a sifter that we built ourselves. We currently use that out at the city property out by the treatment plant, and we use that sifter to create topsoil out of just black dirt, gravel out of pulverized asphalt. The product we are looking for is going to really reduce all the man hours we spend just having gravity work for us with that manual screen. We're looking for a portable unit so that we're not transporting materials from a project site out to the treatment plant and back, and one that is mechanized, so that sifting motion can really increase the amount of material that processes through that. we had located a number of used pieces of equipment and a compatible new piece of equipment. You'll see on our bid tabulation there, a total of 5 different options, generally the same size. Some of the different models have a little heftier motors attached to them. You'll see there's about $11,000 difference in price, and as the price goes up, generally those were units with larger motors attached to them. We're recommending or asking for award to our low bid, Argus Industrial Company, at a cost of $18,385. We do feel like this is a money maker for us. We've estimated we've saved about $100,000 in our road reconstruction process by recycling pulverized asphalt. We're not purchasing rock to replace that. We're not carting that asphalt off to go to a landfill or trying to find somewhere to discard that material. So, again, we're asking for award the low bidder, and do note this is a budgeted item.
Questions, comments, discussion? Mr. Harder?
Repairs, any repairs you need on this, you have in-house, or is
There's a 1-year warranty. It's a Kohler motor. You'll notice it is an out-of-state company. So generally, we'll rely on them during that warranty period. Beyond that, you can see by our fabricated sifter, we're pretty good with the welder and small engine repair.
All right, thank you.
So, we say here that there's a, with a lower price, it'll give you 10 years of use. How long will this unit be utilized for? What's the life of this?
It depends on how well you care for it. It is powder coated, so we would expect to hold it pretty well rust wise and expect 15 to 20 years. You'd see that the pricing we were getting was all the way back to 1988 models, and those look to be in fairly good shape. So.
Judgeson?
Hate to miss an opportunity to discuss base layers on, is this what we're gonna use? Is that the plan to
One
use
of them.
pulverized asphalt?
That's correct, as well as soil.
Yeah. I mean, I go back to the red bud and the dogwoods over there, and the fact that we didn't put a base layer. I guess do we have plans to do that next year?
Well, certainly.
I mean, did we do, is that what we used on these roads?
It is, and when you see a spot failure like we saw there, that's not the base rock that we're putting down. That failure is the subgrade. Where, typically we like to get down to a big wet clay and chert mixture, and that's what we'll build upon, whether it's with purchased base rock from a quarry or recycled base rock that we create. Our equipment is not big. We'll generally proof roll the subgrade, proof roll the base rock, and run we've got a 7-ton laboratory compactor. Run that, none of that equipment is as heavy as the paver. So there is, from time to time, when those paving crews come in, we'll see some of that pumping or some of that flex develop. And that's your opportunity, or that's when you need to go in, and generally you're digging down below everything you've placed and working on that subgrade. We try to avoid that, but it does happen time to time. What I will say is, we've done a number of these streets. I've got a map created right here, and really we'll let the results speak for themselves. You go all the way back to 2008, Hampton Street was the first street that we used recycled asphalt. Granted, we're looking for a 30-year lifespan on these streets. We have history going back to 2008, but they've all stood up to see one of them.
So then we're planning on continuing this same process of using recycled.
That is one of the intended uses for this piece of equipment.
No, I don't.
We're good.
I mean, I don't know that I agree, but I mean, you're the expert in that. He's answered my question.
Okay, sure. Additional questions, comments, discussion, Mr. Brown?
Appreciate you doing this.
Anything else?
We're just hours away from.
My bad.
Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much. On the next item, resolution number 14-I-15, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, awarding a bid for a half-ton 4x2 two-door regular cab work truck and authorizing the purchase thereof. I'd like to have a motion. Motion. Motion and second. Mr. Brown, give us an overview, sir.
Yes, Mayor, this is another budgeted item that we're trying to acquire in time to use during this construction period that's coming up. This is to replace a 1999 half-ton pickup truck. The bid is for a very standard half-ton pickup truck, regular cab, two-wheel drive. Solicited bids from local dealers. Word got out, and we had a couple bids from non-local dealers, Putnam Chevrolet, Don Brown. The table there on the exhibit shows the result. Our low bidder was Republic Ford Lincoln, at a bid price of $17,767, and we're recommending award to Republic Ford Lincoln.
Questions, comments, discussion, Mr. Brown? Mr. Quentin Beard?
I did notice the third one there is, a quicker turnaround time by maybe a month to 6 weeks quicker. How fast are you needing them? It's like $500 difference. Are you needing it pronto?
We take those delivery times, estimated delivery times, with a grain of salt. These are all orders out of the factory, and when the factory gears up to build this particular truck, they'll gear up to build this particular truck. So
About the same from anybody.
I would say all of them are probably, none of them have an edge over another on getting that delivery. It's when they place that order and when the factory retools for this particular truck.
Just for the record, where is Putnam and Don Brown?
Putnam, I believe, is,
St. Charles or?
I think that's up around St. Louis. Don Brown is Jefferson City. These two are they do a lot of state trucks.
Additional questions, comments, discussion, Mr. Brown?
I have the idea of buying from local.
Especially when they're the lowest.
That's right.
Yeah, I agree. Additional questions, comments, discussion, Mr. Brown? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Mr. Brock, you might as well go to chair. Next item, resolution number 14-R-16, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, awarding the purchase of a Bobcat skid steer track loader for the Street Division of Public Works. I'd like to have a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. Brock, give us an overview, sir.
Yes, Mayor, this is a purchase using a MoDOT bid. MoDOT bids out a number of different sizes of skid steers. Their format essentially is to certify different sizes of this type of equipment. 60 horse, 75 horse, 85 horse. They don't do a singular award. Those bid results are then published. All the different MoDOT divisions or any agency wanting to do a cooperative purchase, then you take that base bid, the options are provided at a 30% discount. If you're doing a trade-in, then you contact a specific dealer and they offer you their trade-in. So you see here the results of 5 different pieces of equipment from 5 vendors. We start with the MoDOT base bid. And these are a lot like purchasing a vehicle. There'll be differences between a Ford and a Chevy and a Cadillac as far as what comes with the base bid. When we look at the options, we're trying to equalize those. Our primary focuses are heat and air conditioning, high flow hydraulics, sound reduction. So there may be different packages in those options, but the end result is they're as comparable with the features as we can get them. Subtract out the trade-in value, and we have the total cost. A low vendor or low proposal in this case is Bobcat out of Springfield, and they are low for primarily two reasons. One, their base bid is one of the lowest in there, but they also offer the highest trade-in value for our 2010 skid steer. This would be a bit of an upgrade for us. Our 2010 is a 75 horse. It's a little smaller piece of equipment. Doesn't have the high flow hydraulics, but it is getting up in the number of used hours, and we're afraid if we don't take advantage of our planning and budgeting at this point, we'll see a substantial drop off in that trading value with another year's use. So we are recommending or requesting award for this budget item to Bobcat Springfield at a total cost of $36,832.
Questions, comments, discussion, Mr. Fry?
This is in the budget, that's,
Yes, sir.
You use that thing almost every day, do you not?
We do, and particularly on our smaller construction projects, it's a very nimble machine. And I should have mentioned this before, another big difference in our trade-in versus the proposed piece of equipment would be going from a wheeled vehicle to a tracked vehicle. And we're looking toward those tracks to really allow us to get down in the trenches. You get off the pavement with the wheeled vehicle, and it loses a lot of traction.
What's our average number of hours that we're running right now on that?
Pushing 200. Yes.
Additional questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much. Well, next item, resolution number 14-R-17, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, supporting development and construction of a new Veterans Administration Medical Clinic in the city of Battlefield, Missouri. I'd like to have a motion.
Motion.
Motion and second. Ms. Noggle's not here, so Mr. Krischke, you're our default.
I'm on the default,
You're all right.
Overview, sir.
This, sometimes it's odd when a city council in one city votes a resolution in favor of supporting something in another city, but in this particular case, Veterans Administration, as far as I can tell, for about 6 years, has been looking for a new location for a new medical facility, not a hospital, but a medical clinic, which would be an outpatient type clinic. In this particular area, over the course of the last 2 to 3 years, they have been narrowing down a number of different sites and working with individual property owners and individual developers. There's 4 sites now that they're down to. The Veteran Administration is looking to progress this project forward and go into construction this year. One of those sites is in Battlefield at the corner of FF and Republic Road. It's that site that was halfway developed. They have some infrastructure in place there, road, street lights, sewer, and water. Originally it was going to be a retail site. This would take the place of a large portion of the retail area that they had proposed. It'll be about a 65,000 square foot facility. The general thought is that it's not being considered for the City Republic, so there's no competition with us. But certainly in our area, Veterans Administration Medical Clinic would be a nice thing to have. Generates a lot of traffic, generates a lot of new jobs. So there's quite a few benefits that would come along with things. Plus, anytime you look at where these are located, there's always a lot of offshoots to different other projects. So a lot of growth in and around this area. So we're looking at this as being right right in our back door, looking at, maybe we'll see some good growth along that Republic corridor, leading back up to ZZ and the Republic High School area. So all in all, we think this would be a good thing for the city of Republic, certainly a really good thing for the area to have a veterans medical clinic close by. And, so therefore, we're recommending that, the city council pass this resolution. Rick Hess, their city administrator, did come and visit with Gail and I, gave us all of these plans. He wasn't privy to telling us what the other 3 sites would be, but Gail, doing what Gail does, she was able to look around and try to make a few phone calls and find out that there were, the other 3 areas are of course nearby, but this is the closest area, closest proximity to Republic.
And really, bottom line is we want to support our neighboring communities who are just in the same path as us, so they can help. So, Mr. Fleckenberg, go ahead, sir.
As the former, well, the price cutter was gonna build there, I saw that in the last probably 3 or 4 weeks, that lot has sold sign on it now. Has anyone moved on that?
No, actually, there's a set of lots. Mayor Battlefield told me this at the Greene County Mayor Association, because I can relay it, that was an open meeting. There's a series of lots on that particular site owned by different individuals. The majority of the larger lots are owned by 1 or 2, and then some of the smaller lots on the outer line areas are owned by, they're owned by different realtors, different banks.
Okay.
So one of those lots was actually purchased by some of the realtors on the other areas, so they could have a contiguous area of lot.
Yeah.
So really,
prepare for this
yes.
or whatever, that they can sell it and keep, okay.
Yes,
I was
that's
gonna say,
where it
hopefully
goes. So
someone didn't get a wind of this and buy it
No.
out from under them or something.
No, that purchase was a few months ago, so it was before, it was long before this
So this
process.
is just a showing, they haven't decided, this is a show of support for us to hopefully have them pick that location.
They've gone into competition for these sites, so each of the 4 sites has they each have their own developer, they're going to put their proposals together. I don't think the date has been announced yet of when these proposals are due, but of course, each particular area is going about getting whatever level of support they can for their site, and then it's gonna probably come down to, like everything else, how much money is each site going to cost the Veterans Administration to build this clinic. Battlefield feels like they've got an excellent site, they've got infrastructure in place, close to the highway, they have a lot of advantages compared to some of the other sites, so hopefully they are successful, it'll be good for them, it'll be good for us, it'll bring some other medical growth here, instead of going southeast all the time, it'll bring it closer to our area.
Additional questions, comments, Mr. Patterson?
I mean, how do we know that there's not a better location for us if we don't know the other 3 locations? I mean, we're looking out for the Republic. I mean, I guess.
We've done our research and.
We're not in the
We
finals.
just need to trust you.
We're not in the finals, right?
Gail has not shared with me, and I didn't want to know, because they seem to make a big deal about not releasing this, but of course, now here we are talking about one of the sites, so it'll be open knowledge, but yeah, the other sites, I guess, are just, for whatever reason, they've just asked those to keep them quiet, but.
The Battlefield sought us out.
Yes, they did.
So it could be that one of the other ones is Springfield, but they didn't seek us out to.
Yes, I would say Springfield would be a good, that's not where the other ones would be.
Well, they've been in the paper for a while with Southwest.
We're gonna miss you.
Yeah. Okay.
But we do know that Republic is a finalist.
Correct.
So that's the big piece.
Additional questions, comments, discussion, you guys are.
My key is it's gonna be a good benefit for the whole area.
You bet. Yes.
Regardless of where the acceptance.
That is
It'd be
correct.
nice if we see it.
Correct. Anything else, council? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much. I'd like to motion to go into executive session under RSMO 6.0.021.1 and RSMO 610.021.3. Motion?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Councilmember Bashir.
Aye.
Councilmember Hutchinson.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson.
Aye.
Councilmember Singleton.
Aye.
Councilmember Poole.
Aye.
Councilmember Mendez.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. We'd like to make mention that that is the last of the open session items. Once council is out of executive session, all, there will be no further action taken or announcements made by the mayor or council, and open session will be closed at this time. We'd like to take a 5-minute recess and then come back to executive session.